Good evening and welcome to Ham Radio Clubhouse. Can we hit that again, guys? That was good. That was good.
Yeah, rocking out.
There it is.
With the rock band.
Rock band, baby.
We'll do it again.
Back in the day, man, I had long hair. Someday I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you all a picture of that. You'd be like, what?
No, that was good. That was good. Well, welcome everybody. We're happy to have you here tonight. And tonight's discussion, we're going to be talking about FT8 and pretty much over to Digital Mills, but mostly FT8. And how was everybody's week, everybody's weekend? I feel like, I don't know if this is the week that never ended or the weekend that just seems like it's gone on forever. Like, how was everybody's, some of you guys celebrate Easter, some don't. How was it? Joe?
Had a great time. Ate a lot of food. Seen a lot of family. So. Outside, awesome. Of course,
social distance and all.
Yeah.
Steve, what about you, man?
Yeah, I actually had family in town. They stayed at the house. No social distancing, none of that stuff. But
okay, I made a lot of
dangerously, So, it's all good. It's all good.
Don, Izzo, what about you, man?
Yeah, man. Saw the kinfolk on Sunday, and of course my little niece, who we haven't seen her since because they moved up from Texas back home here. So, got in the door, and within 1 minute, she's taking me by the arm, and I had to pick her up, and we took a walk around to see her new house again, and everything. It was cool, man. I love family, and I know for me, I got a vacation coming up. I got to go in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then I'm off for 8 days. So wow. I'm already in vacation mode. I'm doing the countdown.
Wow. And beer snack, what about you, buddy?
Oh, dude, that awesome weekend. Got that done. Just hung out with family. That was about it. I had a friend of mine make some Easter baskets for the kids, but I'm like, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's not my holiday. She's like, I want to do it anyway. Kids loved it. Balloon, bubbles and everything, running around. It was an awesome weekend. So.
That's awesome. We cooked a 32-pound turkey. We grow our own turkeys here, and 32 pounds. And my mom came over. She made all the dressings, and it was amazing. It was so good. My son ate so much that he puked 6 times last night. So, it was a rough night. It was a rough night. But
hey, do you mind if I give a shout out to somebody special?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right, for all you don't know, Shane's not here. He's in the live chat. He had to work tonight, so hello, Shane, and keep the planes up there, keep them up in the sky, keep them safe, and we'll see you real soon. So thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, we miss him here tonight. So he said that he's going to heckle us. So, but you know what's amazing? There's this button here that says "Put user in timeout." I love that option.
Here's the thing, though. Maybe I'm jinxed enough. I thought this could be maybe a G-rated show tonight, but I got a feeling. I don't care where he is. Something's going to go wrong, and I got the swear jar right up there just in case.
Hey Dan, who do we have in the chat tonight, man? You're following that along.
So we've got the Don Army. We got parts of the Don Army. We got Mr. Gibbs. We have this side of the radio in there somewhere. He stays in timeout. That's right. I've got Wild Cascadia Radio. I got High Anime. We got Marty. We got North Country Ham. Aaron. We have who else I got? I got Phil. I got Joe telling me I'm a snack in this hat. So thanks, Joe.
Yes.
Let's see what else we got here real quick. That's what we got so far.
So
KC7
if you're
ZXY.
No, I missed that.
Yeah.
Look at that. I'm scrolling too fast through here. KC7ZXY. Welcome.
Wild Hogs and Ham.
Yeah. So if you're watching tonight, live, click that live chat button to be able to talk with us live. We're following the chat as we go through the conversation. We want you guys to be involved in this topic and this conversation, and we are following you guys as you comment, and we'll either highlight them or we're gonna touch on those topics that you guys talk about, those comments you guys bring up. But we were sitting around as a group preparing for this week, and we decided to talk about FT8. So I've never done FT8 myself. It's not something I've dabbled in, but I see it becoming very, very a lot bigger, especially in the Discord groups that some of us are in. And we'll put a link in the chat for the Discord groups if you're not involved. There's Toads, there's K5YVY, and there's a couple more. So whoever's going to put those in there. But there's a lot of great conversation that happens, and there's the FT8 off on Thursday nights that goes between Ham Radio Dude and Temporary Offline, correct?
Great.
Yes.
Show.
And so what's
Fantastic show.
So what's funny is that I watched them since day one, and I never do FT8 because they're so entertaining to watch.
I love it. I love watching it.
So I don't do FT8. Does anybody else in here, do you do F or don't do FT8? Let's just do the tour around. Joe, and then Steven, and Don, and then Dan.
On Thursday nights, I will participate in FT8. That's all I got.
If I make it to the house in time, yeah, I try to get on FT8. If I don't get my computer stolen from me, which has happened, and I have done FT8 just due to a high noise floor here. So.
Okay. Don?
I don't do it. I think I want to do it for a lot of reasons. I've only done JS8, which is sort of its cousin, I think. I guess we'll talk more about that. And because when I did it, I didn't know if I was being a Stan or a Lid. I don't know if I was over deviating, or maybe I was just everybody was talking back to me and I just didn't know what to do. So I guess this is why I'm going to shut up tonight. I want to hear this show because
Oh, we're going to sucker you in. Don't worry. And Dan, what about you?
I'm doing it right now, actually. It's running on my laptop behind me. I'm actually.
Where's your hands? We want to see your hands at all times.
My name's Dan, and I liked FT8.
My name is Dan, and I'm an FT8 war criminal.
Yeah, give him a coin. Give him a coin.
So what's funny is that when we're talking about FT8, Steve was mentioning that there was a letter. I don't know when the letter came out. It was like a letterhead, Steve, about FT8. Yeah. And so there's a couple of notes in there that I wanted to use to kick off this topic. But it says, since zooming into prominence after its debut in mid-2017, the popularity of FT8 digital protocol has become the mode of choice for some 60% of HF operations, according to Club Log's latest. That's a significant increase. Sorry, it's my French side coming out.
All right, Molson, take it in. That's the Molson side of you.
I had too much to drink tonight. So what I find interesting about that, just to start the topic, is later on it goes, the dramatic FT8 upswing has come at the expense of phone, CW, RIDI, and PSK and other modes. So, there's always that conversation of, when there was I think there's that meme going around, single sideband's going to kill, radio AM. Is digital platforms a concern for the future of the hobby?
No.
No, I don't think so. No. Because
No.
you want to know why? We don't have a crystal ball. There is no crystal ball. And if anyone says there is a crystal ball, and it's based upon developers listening to the audience of their modes. But okay, I'm going to give you the OG, and then I'll sit back. When I got into the hobby, RIDI was going crazy. Everybody was doing RIDI. If you were either on voice, CW, or RIDI. Then all of a sudden, this thing called Packet came on, and Packet took over like wildfire. And then what happened? What TNCs were being made. I remember getting dumb terminals from a whole bunch of dumpsters. And you can use this new thing called the computer. I mean, it was all over. Then all of a sudden, it kind of went by the wayside. And all of a sudden, PSK 31 was coming in, and who knows what's on the horizon? But you know what I say right now? Ride the wave, enjoy it. It's getting you on the air. It's getting you on, as what you said before, Dan. The high noise floor is going to allow guys and gals to still get on the air. That is the most important thing. Steve.
Steve
It was
said
Steve.
Yeah.
Well,
That guy,
I'm not doing the fingers tonight.
well, so that's interesting because they talk about how between 2000 they actually say 2025, and I was like, oh my goodness, this pandemic has gone on for way too long. So, but I guess they meant to say 2015. It's that it's ever increasing, but part of me says like that just coincides with the shit propagation we've been having at the end of the solar cycle. Like, does that make sense? Because that's exactly what Steve said. Oh man, I'm gonna have to do an e-transfer. Does that make sense, Stan? Does that make sense, guys?
yeah. Well, with the digital modes and specifically FT8, FT4, those, you can have a higher noise floor and the computer can still pull the signals out.
Okay.
Like if I flip over to 20 meters? Now 20 is good for me. 40 here, I'm looking at an S9.
For a noise floor right now.
Yep.
And now will those FTA signals bust through that so you could see? Nice.
Yep.
That's encouraging.
So that's nice, but.
So I'm completely like, I don't know anything about FT8. So if you say FT4, FT8, get on it. What's your elevator pitch to me? What is FT8 exactly? Don't all speak at once, guys.
I'm gonna let the resident expert beer snack take that one.
I just do it.
Dude, just it's there. It's for fun. So with regards to FT8, all right, it's a low noise. It's a digital signal that allows you to get signals that you think all you hear is noise, but it allows the computer to take the audio signal and it can actually pull the tones out of the noise. Where did I see that? Hold on a second. B Daly says something about Mark I ear holes. Digital adds an aspect of visual content to radio, but there's always the people who want to decode via their Mark I ear holes, and that is very true. With regards to the digital communications, right? FT8, I wouldn't use it for the all-encompassing emergency communications and stuff like that. I would use Don, you were saying JS8 call, or even try and do I don't know CW yet, but I would try those before even going to FT8. The main reason I have FT8, I'm in an HOA. All right, there's so much I could do with my antenna. I'm in a high noise floor in the middle of a row home. So there's the other issue, right? So I've got noise over here. I got noise over there. I got noise there. And, I've got noise everywhere. Everywhere noise. Old beer snack had a radio farm.
Yeah.
So with regards to FT8, I also use it for, checking for band openings. If I sit down and I say, okay, I'm going to call CQ on FT8 on 20 meters, or even I don't even need to call CQ. If I can tune up to 14074, I know 20 is open. Or I go up to, pull this up real quick. So go to 18100, it's 17 meters. I can go,
So is there one fixed frequency on each band for FT8? Like there's one exclusively?
Well, I believe 10 meters has a couple.
What's the most popular? Is 40, 30, I'm going to guess 20, 30, 40, probably the most popular?
Well, actually, it's 85% is on 6 meters. That's the stat. I read it, guys.
All right. So from last Thursday's FT8 off, just for this, there was 118 QSOs that were submitted for 20 meters, 107 for 40. And then the next down was only 37. It was 30, 60, 15. Or somebody made a 10-meter contact.
Right.
But, the majority of it is 20 and 40.
Oh, yeah.
But you're looking at seeing how far your signal will go.
And Dan, what time of the night was that FT8 off? Because those are usually in the evenings, right? And if guys were doing it during the day, I'm going to guess not only will the 20 and the 40 be good, but potentially 17, 15, maybe 12. I don't know if there's anything on the work band there, but again, it must open up the opportunity. Oh
yeah, no, it definitely opens up opportunities for that. Like, And yeah, Phil, it actually, you can go up, you can use FT8 all the way up to 2 meters. Like it's programmed into WSJT up to 2 meters, but you can use it pretty much anywhere digital modes are allowed. So it doesn't have to be on that frequency. That's the accepted frequency for it.
Yeah, just to answer it, it says FT8 activity level sits at nearly 85% on 6 meters, which is like I'm quite shocked too when I read that as far as for that stat. But yeah, and it doesn't take, from what I read, it doesn't take up much bandwidth, right? It's only like 50, like what is it? It's eight line. Like how does it work exactly? It's like 50 hertz wide, and it sends out 8 signals spaced at 6 points something apart, and then that's how it works. Like what is it exactly? Do we know?
Well, I don't have the technical documentation in front of me for it, but it is an 8 frequency shift that goes out in 50 hertz bandwidth. So I can have right now I'm looking at my waterfall, the waterfall that's being decoded, and I can tell you that all the way down to 400 or 350 hertz on the audio spectrum, it's going all the way up into almost up to 3,000 hertz. So it does go the full 3K bandwidth, but each signal is sent out at that. So you can have umpteen signals coming across all at the same time.
Actually, here I just found it here. It's from the developers. It says 8 frequency shift keying format tones are spaced 6.25 hertz, and an FT8 signal occupies just 50 hertz, which really that doesn't threaten much of the overall band. Like that's such a small margin in there. So like anybody who's really concerned about it taking up too much space, it kind of seems a little bit blown out of proportion in some degree. But now, do you like your antenna and all that? It's like, since it's such a low noise, like you can operate in such a high noise floor, how does that translate into your antenna and the work you do in your antenna? Are you still developing that and working to improve it, or is it kind of like it's status quo, it's good to go?
No, I'm always trying to improve my antenna. Even though that I can pick up FT8 signals, that doesn't mean that I can use my radio with regards to the FT8 signals, them coming in good. If I still can't hear voice or anything else, then my antenna still has the issue. So I don't use it. I just judge it to see if the band is open for the majority of it. Mm-hmm. And if I want to try and jump in, hunt some POTA, hunt some SOTA, or just throw a call out, throw a CQ out. So
I'll tell you one thing right now. As you were talking, I'm over on PSK Reporter right now, and just looking at FT8, through the fields. So I chose FT8, and right now I'm choosing 40 meters, and like the short hop, everything for me here in Connecticut. It's everything from, I want to say, the Mississippi River east, solid. There's a lot of activity going on right now. Even into the VE world there.
I just want to, before we continue, just Ariel, have a good supper. Thanks for hopping in. And Ariel's right. Hit that like and subscribe button so you guys can be informed every Tuesday night. We're here having a chat, different topics, and we appreciate you all being here. But have a great dinner, Ariel. Sorry, Don. Keep going, man.
And it's funny, again, just based upon what the reporter is showing now, thins out a little bit through the Midwest, just a little bit. I mean, there's still a lot of activity. Then, of course, West Coast, it's just all up and down from San Diego right into, Vancouver and everything. So, again, and that's just on 40 meters right now. And that's showing over the last then I'm going to quickly go over to 20 meters. But, again, Dan, I do see what you and Steve, are talking about.
So I have,
guys, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, but I've talked too much.
No. I just had a question again, kind of for myself, as far as the newbies on this topic. So I'm going to presume it's as simple as download the software, that kind of, without getting into the whole. We're not going to get into the screen by screen setups, but it is literally a setup as get the software on your computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and then make sure that the radio can talk to your computer through some type of a cable, which a lot of, like, for instance, an ICOM 7300 is a very simple, it's plug and play from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you've got the audio card, you've got an audio interface already built into the 7300, right? So you don't need an external audio interface. So that's step one. And all you need to do is tell the software that your computer, what computer is or what the port is for the cat control, and then what, where your audio feed is coming from and going to. And that's it. Wow. And you're on. And cat control is all done straight from the software.
And sync your clock.
So why is syncing the clock so important? Why is that important?
Everybody's encode and decode needs to be on the same time slot, or you're not going to send or receive.
So, to poke the bear and stoke the fire, for what like. So I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. Like, obviously, you're sending it out; it's RF going out, but at the end of the day, like, and I'm really interested to know what the guys in the chat have to say. What to you constitutes what falls into this hobby as ham radio operators? Like, what is the ultimate definition to you that would eliminate, like, for instance, is like DMR using or nodes using the internet? Is that like, or the guy with his the app on your phone? I forget what it is. I have it on my phone where you can log into the node and away and talk with the guys at your local home repeater when you're away on business. Like, where does the hobby have the line saying that's outside of the realms of it? And it just, what I mean? Because all the time I keep on seeing, especially like I remember I was looking up, and in 2018 on dxworld.net, I think it was a poll saying, should FT8 be part of the hobby? And, it was yes or no. And the comments are insane. But, but like, where is the guiding light? Like, what do you guys, because it always comes up again, whether it's FT4, FT8, DMR, it's going to sideband. What, in your words, and everybody in the chat, in your words, what is the clear definition of what fits into this hobby? If you were to say it once and for all and never have this argument again with people, what would it be?
Who wants to take this one on first?
No.
Fine.
All right. No, I'll open up my mouth and insert my foot. I'll go for it. It's experimentation. That's what this hobby's based on. If you can't experiment, then what are you in amateur radio for? Because that's how it started. We experiment with antennas. We experiment with digital. We experiment, with radios. I mean, look at Alex. He had to build his first radio. That right there defines amateur radio. To me, at least. What
about you, JB?
Well, you touched on the DMR and the digital stuff like DMR, D-Star, things of that nature, whereas internet comes into play. I don't think I should go out personally, and I don't want to attack anybody because everybody's got 100 opinions. I don't think you should get on a internet-based connection like Echolink or DMR Worldwide and try to get your DXCC that way. I've heard people do it. That's their thing. It made them happy, and that's why I didn't say nothing to them. Let them be happy. It's just not my thing. That's why I only do FT8 on Thursday nights. I done it for a little while. I fell off the bandwagon. I was done with it until Thursday night FT8 off came up, and then I started doing it then. It's just not my thing. I like voice. That's my preference. But as far as the digital thing goes, when people say, well, it uses internet, so it's not radio, what you need to realize is majority of these internet linked systems actually uses RF repeaters that send your signal out, and people with radios are talking back to the repeater with RF, talking back to you. So it still incorporates the radio. It's still radio. It's just used in a different way. And if the internet goes down, no, it's not useless. You just may not be able to talk as far, but you can talk simplex digital to other people, except for Echolink. But if you have a radio, you can still radio.
Well, Don said that was definitely on topic. Yes. And all we saw was, and we heard your voice, we heard your voice, so we know it's still there. So a couple things, Don said it a few minutes ago that if it's RF at both ends, who cares what's in the middle? I'm putting RF into the air. That's what I'm doing. Whether I'm doing it from sitting at my keyboard and clicking and saying, "Hey, radio, go put RF in the air," I'm still putting RF in the air. Where it's and I'm receiving it. So it's RF at both ends. Now, with regards to and then KC7ZXY quoting Callum, ultimately it's a science hobby. There's science involved in all of it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Don. Yep, there's science involved in all of it. So as long as there's science involved, because building a 49-to-1, transformer, I'm not even going to remember what it's balance on. Somebody's going to yell at me, but it's a science hobby. You're learning the science behind everything. Okay. Mm-hmm. And another one just popped up. Look at this. Don.
The brothers.
Yes.
The brothers. Yes. Don Army. The Don Army is sharp as all hell tonight. I like that.
Oh yeah. So and again about remote stations. Okay. And operating from an HOA, I can't have an antenna outside. They even have it. It's in my book that I got when I bought the house that says you cannot put up a radio pole. Is exactly what it says.
Fools, I tell you.
Thank you, T.O.
Don't worry, the secret's safe with us.
I won't say nothing.
Don, what do you think?
You know what is? Listen, number one, if you're a good operator on the air, that means somewhere you are hitting what's called a PTT, a push to talk. Mm-hmm. And there's some RF involved. And if you're being a good operator on the air, you're being courteous, helpful when you can, guess what? You get A+ in my book. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you just get in this hobby and you only want to operate satellite. You know what I say? Go for it and get on the air. And if you have an opportunity, show me how you're doing it. I may not get into it, but guess what? I'm going to sit there, truly be fascinated, put you in my hero book because you're doing something that's great and you're being good about it. You're not, it's, I think sometimes over the years, I have petitioned the FCC to change various things about our licensing structure, and they don't put enough, in my opinion, in about being a good operator. And what is, mine is saying please and thank you. There's a lot about being a good operator. And we know there's some really not so nice operators on various bands and various modes. And I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. That'll be a subject we can maybe talk on another Tuesday night. Okay. But I don't care. Go for it. If you want to play FT8, man, go play FT8. And just, learn, just have fun, do it safely. Obviously, whatever you're going to do, stay away from the power lines. Don't try to do nothing because that tree. It's like at my house right now. If you guys could see the tree that I have a beautiful tree, but guess what? It's near the power lines. So I got to do one of two things. I either got to call my local power company and dig up my yard and may potentially do a burial, or just leave it or go figure something out. Guess what I'm going to do? Leave it. And I'm going to go for the challenge of finding another antenna and getting on the air. And guess what? And who knows? And here's something else I also wanted to point out. I don't care what country you're from. We all come in here with different interests. Some people may have some difficulty with speaking. Some people may have difficulty with sight, hearing, sometimes, operating, using your hands, sometimes some mental comprehension. Okay. I never look down upon anybody because of that. And guess what? And if they're doing something in this hobby, the science, like what Lord Cal has said, the science of the hobby, God, and if they can only do FTA as an example, because that's what we're talking about tonight, God bless you, go for it and keep on doing it and be a good operator. Be a damn good operator. So
it's either this is a really dry night in most shacks tonight, or Shane keeps us laughing, or this is too serious of a topic. So
where the hell is he? I'm gonna kick his ass. Where the hell is he?
He's working.
So
So he says.
Keep the planes in the air, brother.
I have to make my observation. To me, when I watch FT8, it's like CQ Tinder. Okay, I'm serious.
There it is. There it is.
It's like Jose in Barcelona is looking for a QSO. You have a good signal between each other. Swipe left to confirm. Swipe right to ignore.
We are making a note because that is definitely getting.
Yeah, hey, I like that one. Write that one on the clubhouse walls. I want that written on the clubhouse walls. I don't care if it's in the bathroom. It doesn't make it. I want it on the wall.
Ham radio Tinder. All
Ham
right.
radio in there.
No, but it's
Gotta have that coded. New feature coming off for FT8 off.
We have an app for that.
Hey, just wait till they come out with CQ brides. Okay.
Yeah.
You have a contact from Ukraine. Dunn's comment. We broke Shane so bad he didn't show up to the chat that time. He's getting called in the boss's office now.
Yeah. He's probably in the break room right now. His 15-minute break has gone to 22 minutes. They're all wondering where the hell he is. His co-partners need to go to the bathroom. Someone needs a snicker break, and where's Shane?
He's in the corner dying laughing, probably.
There you go. Tio, what really excites me about
it's not Tinder, it's Tinder, guys. You know that? What is that? What it's called? Yeah. Tinder? Yeah, TIN. You know, they didn't get the joke.
I wouldn't know. You won't find no smoke signals RF on there, and if you do, this is the real smoke signal. I'm just putting it out there right now.
Yep.
Hey, I saw Jason wearing your shirt the other night.
Yes, he was. Good choice.
Yeah, but you know, when you pay the guy to wear your shirt, it doesn't mean too much, right?
I didn't pay him nothing. I asked him. I said, "What are you doing?" He said he needed his shirt, so he went over to the laundry basket. He didn't know if it was clean or not. I said, "Just give it the quick sniff test." Exactly. No, FT8, man. Listen. Let's face it. Like I said earlier, I don't know, and no one knows how long FT8 is going to keep us excited about it. Because who knows? There could be an FT2 coming around, an ET1 coming around, 4 or 5. I don't know what the cycles. So maybe I should have done some homework for the show, and I apologize because it would have been interesting to see, just from a numbers perspective, how long was Riddick active for? How long, if there is any data out there? How long was PSK active for? AX25 packet. All the, Olivia. How many guys remember Olivia? It's just when I started asking a question about Olivia, it was like one of those, it's done. No one's on. I'm like, what do you mean? I thought I heard. I don't know what the cycle is. But I think if everyone continues to ride the wave and play with it, and I think this might be something like you guys touched on a high noise floor, restricted antenna scenarios. This may be something that just might ride the wave for a little bit longer until something, I don't want to say better. I never like saying better. Something different comes along.
Well, it's also an opportunity. It's here at a great time. It came out in 2017. We're at the end of the solar cycle. It's like any product. When a new product comes at the right point, it's a hit, right? And so we'll probably see difference in, it'll probably go down as the solar, cycle goes better, and, the hope that everybody's talking about all the time. But, so let's say I wanted to try it and then kick everybody's butt in the FT8 off and next Thursday. So does every rig hook right? Like, obviously not every rig hooks right up to the computer. So do you need to get an interface for some of the older, like some sort of like magic box?
Yeah, what's the vintage? What's the vintage of the radios? I guess Steve, Dan, Joe. What's the vintage of the radio? So, like you said, the 7300, pretty much plug and play, right?
The 7200, the 7100. So ICOM, those three radios from ICOM are immediate, plug in. The Yaesu 991, the 991A, the FTDX10, they are all sound card interface integrated. So
Okay, what about the Ken? Do you know anything about the Kenwood and the Yaesu lines?
I just said the 991, the
I'm
991A,
sorry. No,
The Flex
Software.
radios will all do it,
Flex.
but they're software. So
You know, the
Software
the
defined, yeah.
radios. So I think Sun SDR I think can do it too.
Mhm.
But with regards to
there you
excuse
go.
me, so with regards to that, you know,
Shane.
so
What do you got there, Joe? What is that?
This is a MFJ sound card interface that I used when I had my Kenwood TS440 that's in the background now. So that's what I would use. One of the things I also had a somewhere around here. I have a West Mountain. What was that company called? The Rig Runner
Mountain Radio.
people. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I had one of their no mics.
So for a guy
sound
like
card
me who has an
interfaces.
Icon, like for instance, I have an ICOM 706 sitting on a shelf. I'm not 706 Mark II. I will not get rid of this for some reason. I just can't get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of it, but I want to do something with it. Would that MFJ device or something else like that would be needed, obviously, to interface between radio, that, and the computer, correct?
yes,
Yeah, if you don't have the built-in.
yeah, if you don't have
Yeah.
a built-in sound card, you do need some type of interface, you know, in order to go between the audio from the computer and the audio into to the radio to translate it back and forth. You don't want to plug your radio directly into the audio in and mic in from the computer. There's, you know, RF can go back and forth. You can blow your computer, you can blow your radio, one of the two. Dan, you're going to have to do FT9 for the exchange rate.
That's for
Thank you, Aaron.
very good, Aaron.
Thank you,
We're going
Aaron.
to call
Thank you,
that,
Aaron.
Aaron. That's called the Molson. That's what we're going to start calling that, the Molson exchange rate.
So, yeah, and the cat cable, and Don just said you can get the cat cable for the 706 as well. And I do think
Nice, thank you,
that I think Carlos has a 706, and I think To has a 706 as well.
Yep.
And I think they know in the FT8 off, they'll be able to put through and say, you know, this is how we have it hooked up and everything. Woohoo, Curacao! Sorry.
All right. Dumb question now. Dumb question. Antenna is let's say FT8 operator number 8 or A is running the traditional dipole. You know, it's up 40 plus feet. You know, we'll call it the dream scenario. And then all of a sudden, you got somebody in the HOA who has to run maybe a compromised antenna, an NFED, even a Cushcraft on a a mag mount and running maybe a couple counterpoise. Does this? What's the difference between A and B? Is there a difference?
You have an antenna, your signal will get out. So
Okay.
it's the same concept. If you have your antenna, you know, like I have it at 5 feet and it runs along my fence line. Okay. So at that, you know, on 40, you know, I'm pretty much, you know, bouncing up and down. 20, like my last report that I see from PSK, I'm getting all across the country and I'm like all the way down into South America. So from where I'm at.
So brother Dan is going to hear. Dan and Dan go to work each other. You know, with him being up in Canada, you're in Jersey. You're still going to work regardless of the antenna, as long as your two stations can hear each other.
Oh, Don, it's even better than that. I heard that you can go to sleep and it'll still run for you.
Don't do that. No.
Shot
That's
fired.
unethical.
Pew, pew, pew.
So what is that? Like you can leave it running? Like so you can do automatic mode, right? And then you can do manual mode. Is that it?
So you have your automatic mode. Okay. So when you say automatic mode, you let the software complete the QSO for you. So I turn around, I say CQ, you know, KD2 FMW from FN20. All right.
Yeah.
Somebody come and I tell it to say, okay, automatically respond to the first person that calls me. The first person calls me, my system will automatically, I have it set up to auto sequence. It'll next say, hey, this is what my computer heard your signal level at. whether it's plus. I think the most I ever had was a +5. And I've seen it down to -28. I've been able to decode at my spot.
Wow.
So from that, that level there. So here's what I heard you at. They say, okay, well, this is what we heard you at. And you say, all right, thank you. 73, and back and forth, and that's it. It takes about a minute and 15, a minute and a half.
I'm actually seeing
FT8.
That sounds like my kids' chats. My kids text, "Hey, how you doing, bud? Good. How you doing? Cool.
140 characters or less.
That's like half of me and my wife's conversations. How you doing, babe? Good. Okay, cool. Bye.
So Dan, I actually see I see where you are in Jersey. Again, I'm just looking at PSK Reporter, and it's again, I see what the other stations that are hearing you here on 20 meters. This is cool. Very cool.
Right. So that's where my signal's going from my antenna at the level it's at. And, Shane says he's got an end-fed, his end-fed antenna, and he did it at 50 watts. He hit Africa. Now, it is a reminder, this is not a low power mode. It's a low signal mode.
Well, how much power can you run?
1,500 watts.
Or the legal limit of your
license, okay.
Of your government license.
If they have a limit.
That's a lot of heat.
Really?
That's a lot of,
sorry.
Okay. Yeah, because again, I'm seeing you have worked way into Saskatchewan and the whole West Coast. I mean, everyone is hearing you. Whatever antenna you have right now, and how much power are you running right now? 100 watts?
75. I'm running 75 watts into it.
75 watts.
Yep. And the other thing is, earlier today I was running it, and I got into Asiatic Russia, just from where I am. I hit Asiatic Russia. I hit Thursday night last week. I know that I was heard in VK4. My signal was picked up in VK4, and
nice.
So it's all based upon the magic and wizardry that is the gray line, and how the bands are operating. Somebody got to nuke the sun. So
because it looks like right now the gray line is going over K8 MRD's house and maybe even Judge JB's house right now, and it's going to be rolling into the TO area, the Kyle area, Jason area as it continues moving west.
So what's great about this time of day for me, okay, in FT8 is the gray line will pull my signal towards the West Coast, and I'll be able to pick up California, and I'm still trying to get Alaska, but it pulls my signal further over. So it's all based upon your antenna. Right now it's like I said, it's a level antenna. When I do FT8, I take out my my end-fed, my excuse me, my KM4ACK. Yes, KM4ACK end-fed,
yep.
And I run that inverted feed. That one right there. In fact, mine are right here.
Nice.
And I run that, and I'm heard pretty far. It's all based upon the time of day. It's based upon the band. It's based upon this. But either way, it's a way to see how your signal is getting out, and I use it to fine tune my antennas. So
interesting.
Me personally for FT8, I like to just play, because I keep it in the background while I'm, actually working. But, I've got that running so I can see where in the world RF is going. And using that and PSK Reporter and just being able to turn on the radio and say, okay, I can hear a signal on 14074. All right. So that means that there's stuff coming through on 20, at least the lower end of 20. So there we go.
How do you use it to improve your antenna, to tweak your antennas? Is it because you're constantly setting them up and taking them down, what pattern you set them up in, or how I'm curious about that.
Good question. Yeah, good question.
So set it up. I've got the 1917, from MFJ. It's 43 feet. I'll set it up to 6 sections. I'll get an inverted V out of it, or I'll take it out to the full extension. I'll extend it to 43 feet, and I'll get the full sloper antenna out of it. And depending on where I put it on common grounds will dictate which way my signals go, which way they radiate off the sides. And I've noticed that, if depending on where to my house, which direction it goes, will dictate how well my signal goes in certain directions, which is, I just know, like, hey, I want to set it up over here because I want to see if I can hit, K8MRD tonight. Or, hey, I want to set it up over here because I want to see if I can finally be heard in Alaska on FT8. So it's all, that's where my experimentation comes in, is that what pattern of my antenna it gives me the best signal.
Hey, does somebody want to explain Don Gibbs? The quote on the screen, I think, is awesome because we hear that a lot, and I don't think everyone really understands. Who wants to take that question? Can we put the back?
You want it back?
What comment? I don't see a comment.
Hold on. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. There you go.
Yeah. Take it away, Beer Snack.
So, like I was saying, weak signal. All right. So you've got your noise floor. My noise floor for 20 it averages anywhere from S5 to S9, depending on, what my neighbors are doing or what's going on for the day in the house. So what I can't hear, all right, it's the signals that I can't hear, like the tones I can't hear or anything I can't hear, the software can pull it out. So anything that's below that noise floor that I can't hear, it can be pulled out by the software itself and decoded. So if my noise floor is at an S5, right, and I'm only receiving signals at an S2 or an S3, it'll still be able to pull those signals out of the air or out of the noise, what that is. When they say low power, right, they're talking about your transmission power, whether or not you're doing anywhere from 2 to 10 watts for low power, like QRP. Okay. So even if you're just doing, 2 to 10 watts, you can still get pretty far on the, because of propagation. We had QRP night. I forgot how far I personally got, but on QRP night, I was still going all the way across the country with my
Nice.
low, I didn't even set up the other antenna. So
right.
It's fun to watch how the signals happen. That's why I FT8. That's why I do it. And you know what? It is real radio because I'm putting little squigglies into the air.
The little fishies are going.
The little squigglies.
So, but how does that play into the duty cycle? Like, I've heard that, like, it's in the same realm as CW. Like, how does that work?
All right. So, duty cycle. So, when you're running a digital mode, okay, most of the time it's a full duty cycle. When they say full duty, I set my radio at 75 watts. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to be putting 75 watts of power out of my radio continuously for the duration of time that my transmitter is on. It's 75 watts going out. Okay. So it's a full duty cycle. Whereas a partial duty cycle, like single sideband, okay, it's an average of what it is. So I can still set it to 75 watts, but I'll watch my needle go. Everybody watches the needle jump up and down as they're talking, depending on how loud they're speaking into the microphone.
Right, PEP.
So you have a higher risk of, doing some damage to your antenna system, if you don't have it matched properly. So as Don likes to say, it's the antenna. Get the antenna.
Antenna.
So Brother Don was just mentioning a 6-watt contact to Italy. Nice job
on
FT4. Steve, can an FT4 guy talk to you or vice versa, or is it are you restrict FT4 guys can only talk to FT4 guys, Steve?
Yeah, FT4 can only talk to FT4. FT8 can only talk to FT8 because FT4 is half the time. So it's what is it, like a 6.5 second QSO? Hang on, I'll just change over to FT4 here.
Yeah, it's a 6.5 second QSO.
7.5 second.
All right, so hold on, wait. I have notes here on that. Actually, it actually pulls. It's a 6.5 to 7 second complete signal that gets broadcast for signal, going in and out, and it also the primary reason they have it is for contesting. Your clock does not have to be as accurate on the time, as well as it'll pull signals like this is where FT8 is. it'll pull signals out that are 10 decibels lower. So it'll pull out a signal that even FT8 can't hear.
Wow.
So we're going to start to get towards the end of wrapping this up, but I have one question for those who are in the comments and for you guys. Prior to this is just to get my mind around it. Prior to like say the FT8 off, was FT8 and FT4 as big a part in your radio experience? Or is it because of that you're into it now? That sort of camaraderie that's been built in that platform. Do you know what I'm asking? Like, is this something that's new, a new passion, or is this something that's been going on for a while that is just becoming more popular?
For me, it's always been something I've played with since I got my General, because I have such a hard time with my noise floor here.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm operating from the house, generally it's digital modes. Whereas, if I want to do sideband, I'm going to go play POTA, like Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to the park. Matter of fact, my Eagle One's sitting right here behind me.
Nice.
And so, yeah, we won't talk about setting that up the other day without coax, but, it happens.
Part of the antenna system.
Right. And Dan, just for the record, I just got a plus 25 contact on FT8. So,
Your neighbor?
Probably.
Ground wave. He's going ground wave. Right next door.
Yeah.
Dan, what about you, buddy?
He's a Whiskey 5, so.
Oh, no. So I got General. I've actually only had my General for a year. And when I was studying to take the test, I went and purchased a used 991. Right. And I was setting that up, and I was actually using it on 2 meters and playing with it on 2 meters and 10 meters right before I got my General. So I set it up in the backyard, hooked it up, went to town with that. And, ever since once I got General, I started, switching into the HF bands and just going. And, I've got, I'm not a paper chaser in any way, shape, or form, but like I said, I'm still trying to get Alaska.
But see, what you guys just described is almost me, because again, I love ever since I found POTA, again, or just playing in my backyard with the warm weather. I love it. But for instance, if I'm sitting in the shack, and Dan, you kind of hit it. I come down here, I'm wondering if FT8 actually might be for a guy like me who said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I'm wondering now, hey, just let it roll, see what happens, and see where your signal is going. Again, the fun part of our hobby, getting back to what Dan said of, what do you do in this hobby and why do you do it? And again, you kind of, I mean, listen, we all have a noise floor. We all have I don't care where you live. Everybody has a noise floor. Some guys just have a little bit louder than others, and but it's kind of
what's encouraging is seeing the people in the comments saying that the FT8 off has made and it has influenced them, which is awesome, because that's what we want, right? That's why we do the YouTube. That's why that's what it's all about, is to encourage other people and to teach. And what are you laughing at?
It is a shame.
Oh. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
Yeah, keep going.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
plus Shane said it too. You can play FT8 and have a cigar. Thank you, Shane.
Yep.
He's absolutely right.
You can FT8 and take a dump at the same time by hitting enter.
Yeah.
That one right there. That one right there.
Yes, Don.
Don nailed it.
Oh, so I just said that. Anyways, so to FT8 or to not FT8, that is the question, right? And I think I'm going to try it. And, I'm going to listen, if I kick all your butts, I'm going to keep doing it. If I suck, I'm going to stop. That's the way it goes, right?
Don't stop. Just keep doing it.
Just keep going.
I'm joking. Come on.
Yeah,
I am a cleric, though. I don't like to lose. But let's go around. Dan, what do you got coming up on your channel, and what's going on with you?
Well, as soon as we are done here, I'm going to be putting the thumbnail on my video for the build that I did for the power distribution box. So it's 35 minutes of me cursing at solder. We've got the FT8 off on Thursday. I don't know if we're going to be, playing another no rules or if we're doing FT4. I don't know. I haven't gotten the full lowdown, but I'll be there again. Yes, it is. And just come and hang out. That's it. Thursday night ham radio, Monday night ham radio. Anytime, hang out. And this is where we are. Let's just hang out and have a good time.
I'm going to put the links of everybody's channels in order as they talk. Don, what about you, buddy?
So what I got going on? Again, I go on vacation for 8 days. The 911 center can, keep on doing what it's doing. Without me, I don't want to know nothing. And I just got I got some little things around here around the house again for here in the Northeast here, lower Northeast. Going to be putting away the winter stuff, putting away the snow thrower, pulling out the gas grill now, pulling out the big lawn tractor, giving the generators all their oil changes. Just something that I do every spring. But I'm going to be playing some POTA. I am going to, whether I go to just my favorite parks as repeat offenders or whether I start knocking off some of the ones that I haven't just been able to get to because of COVID and just, work schedule. But I'm going to be getting on the radio. And I'm going to say one last thing regarding this whole FT8. Like many I'm a guy who was just showing up for the Thursday FT8 off, just hanging out in the background, say a little bit in the chat, having dinner, doing some paperwork here or whatever, but just listening to it, just sort of like sitting in like the back room of it and just hanging out and watching it. And I got to tell you, it's fun. But I think tonight's show, I don't mean to be pompous, but I really, really like what we did tonight because it answered for me, and I know a few others who asked me, and I'm like, I don't have those answers. You're going to have to go somewhere else. Well, where should I go? I don't know. I said, just go to YouTube. But some guys have it a little bit too technical. I think tonight we broke it down really, really nice for a lot of people at an elementary level to not be afraid, look at your different options of why you may want to do this. And I want to thank all you guys. Thank you. Thank you, brothers, for everybody here as well as in the chat. I've been reading the chats and, except for Shane. I don't read Shane's chats, but no, seriously, thank you very, very much.
Maybe he actually got called in to do some work. Steve, what about you?
I'm actually looking at doing a radar here soon.
Nice.
I've got quite a few POTA parks that are pretty close together, but they qualify. So I'm going to try to get out and figure out how quick I can set up that Eagle One. So there it is.
Like I said, I don't read Shane's chat, so I don't know what he just said.
But yeah, I'm trying to get some video editing done so I can get a couple of videos posted. But that's all.
There's Shane. That's for you too.
Right back at you.
Be nice, boys.
Love you,
kids. Settle down. Be nice.
Put them in timeout.
Joe, what about you, buddy?
All right. Well, before I close out, I wanted to touch on. I've seen some of the comments way earlier in the show, but talking about the visual aspect to, like y'all was talking about PSK Reporter and stuff. There's a add-on program for WJSX, whatever it is.
WSJTX.
There you go. Called Grid Tracker. Okay. And anybody that's doing FT8, and if you like the visual aspect of where your signal's going, if you haven't tried Grid Tracker, try it out. I used it once, and my youngest kid, I'm always looking for the kids, got 2 boys, 2 girls, and I always wish one of them would kind of take up the hobby so somebody else could use some of these that I've got sitting around. But so like my youngest come in here one day and he seen me, I had the Grid Tracker up, and what's that? And I just explained it to him. I said, well, sit down. You're going to be my third party operator. So nice. With me still in control standing here, I showed him what to do. You click here to initiate the contact. You wait for their reply, so forth. And this is where your signal's going on a map. And he thought that was the coolest thing and made 19 contacts before I could say, okay, it's my turn again.
That's my toy. Nice. That's my toy.
So, yeah.
So
But as far as my closing arguments, I just actually done a recorded video the other day after the QSO party for Mississippi. I put some little snippets up on that short little video, and then in the future, I'm just going to try to balance life and radio. And when I find time to go live and chat and hang out with folks in the live, we're going to do that. If I find time to put out some recorded content to make y'all a part of something I'm doing, I'll do that too. So, to you, Dan, in Canada.
Yeah, so I want to just touch on Shane's comment. Obviously, Shane's not here tonight. Sorry, I'm trying to put Shane's link in the description. At Shane, it says that new video coming out on my channel next Tuesday. We are deep diving into my portable HF station. 2 cases and 1 mast. That almost.
You think you'd be very wrong.
I'm done.
Well, it's funny. I was reading. I was like, "Hold on, where's this going?"
Never read Shane's comments.
Don't read Shane's comments.
Anyone done doesn't read.
Somebody take that down. Well, listen, guys, I just start. Hold on, give me 30 seconds.
No, Shane has a fantastic channel. Shane and I have been talking a lot behind the scenes. He's going to be trying something different. He's doing extremely well, and we're all proud of him. And
he's doing. He's got
to kick the butt, but he's a good kid.
He's got a perfect personality. It's almost as if he's done acting to some level before. I'd be interested to know if maybe we can try and find something of him acting. I'm not too sure. But so
the world still needs ditch diggers. Always remember that.
So listen, guys, I just started my YouTube channel last week. I did a quick video. It's called We Build, We Learn. Link in the description. We did laser cutting out on CNC for call sign logo. And I'll say it here now, when I get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to do a customized wall logo for somebody, one of my subscribers. So subscribe. And I have a video that's going to come out probably this weekend. It's going to be about RF grounding and patch panel manufacturing. Like, we're going to talk about RF grounding, and we're going to build an RF ground patch panel to go in my shack. So that'll probably go out Sunday. And so all the links to our channels in the description. We are so happy that you guys join us today. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for being here. And listen, send us a message. Comment. If you guys want to comment on the video, if you have a topic you want us to talk about. And if you didn't like something we said, well, put it there and we'll either read it or delete it.
All negative comments get written to attention to Shane. Shane handles all the negative stuff.
Well, he's the secretary and everything else, right?
Yeah, so he is.
Correspondence.
All right, guys. We appreciate you for being here. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern.
It was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.